guys, welcome back to another Building Kashyyyk weekly segment. So guys, this week we are back actually, and sorry for the last week's break, but we were at Philly Brickfest. Very successful convention. We will actually be back to the same Philly Brickfest in September. There's actually going to be one again this year at the same convention center. More information on that can be found on phillybrickfest.com. I don't think that's actually been officially announced yet, so let you guys know a little bit earlier than the official announcement has been announced. But anyhow, so since then, since the last couple weeks, or last 2 weeks, I have made some pretty good progress. I don't think you can see behind me, but we have some pretty cool progress on the tree. Now, I wanted to actually build a little further than where I got to, but in order for me to build further with the tree from where I've left off at the moment, you'll see in a few minutes, but I want your guys' decision on, do you like the design? I'm pretty satisfied with the design, but I wanted to confirm with you guys that you also liked it as well. So that's why I haven't furtherly built into the tree more. But some other cool things we kind of touch on is over here. We're going to start the mountain building, and we also touch on some other things. Something someone mentioned a couple weeks ago when I was asking about the Kashyyyk wall. A second tree, the thought of a second tree right here, off to my, for me, right side, for you, left side, right over here. And so somebody had, I suggested get rid of the Kashyyyk wall and just building a big tree. Somebody had suggested, hey, why don't you build a tree, maybe not as big as the one that you're already building, but build a pretty decent sized tree and then kind of merge it together with the Kashyyyk wall. Not a bad idea. So I've sort of kind of started planning that out, and I think we're going to go further with that idea, so I'm pretty happy with where we're going with that. So a lot to cover in this video. It's going to be a bit long, but some pretty cool stuff to go over. So I do apologize for the week off, but trust me, it was well worth it. So thank you guys very much for your patience, and without ado guys, let's get right into the video right now. So guys, we have a lot to be viewed this week. So what are you looking at right now? You're actually looking at the Kashyyyk tree. So here's the progress that has been made. Pretty cool. So you may remember, but this kind of branch right here was down right here, a little bit lower. I actually kind of built this up a bit more, but this entire branch right here was down right here. And I was kind of just experimenting with what I wanted to do right here. Yeah, looking pretty sweet. So what we have going on here is the idea of doing kind of a walkway kind of path thing going around the entire tree, circling around the entire tree. What I was thinking is that it would just kind of slope down right here. It would go down, 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 kind of stay at a flat foot right here, and go back up, up, down again right here, and then kind of make its way back up right here. And what it would do, what I'm thinking is we'd build this up to about the point of here, all the way, just on this part. Actually, this would be a lower part because that's how you'd get the lower terrains like that. But we'd start building like this, and so what would happen is if we make this walkway all the way around here, then we kind of create a kind of center in the middle of right here. We create a center that would be kind of like the middle of the tree, and that would be kind of like a big pole just made out of brown bricks. And that's where we'd take a bunch of branches, like imagine like 6 of these, a bunch of these branches right here. And what we'd do, put this back here, actually I'll take it off, but what we'd do is we'd circle the entire tree. So this would basically be around the entire tree, and then there would be a brown center right here, and then these giant tree limbs that look like this would circle all the way around to kind of finish off the tree. Now the reason why I want to do this right here, this kind of walkway design, is I went back to looking at these Kashyyyk trees, and they have a lot of kind of like buildings or small structures kind of built around the trees. I wanted to, now obviously I couldn't incorporate as many as there actually are on the tree, but I wanted to at least get one fully circled one around the entire tree at different, angles or different slopes of this type of pathway. Now what I built here is kind of just like a sketchy kind of prototype. You can kind of see how it was built. Pretty easy, but it looks really cool. And I just used, you know, these poles right here, and I kind of connected some plates up in here, and I just covered it with some trees. And then I took this giant tree branch right here, built this up. You know, this obviously is not going to whip the final product. It's just kind of just a temporary pole right here, and I kind of just set that on here, and it kind of just sets perfectly. And it's at kind of a 45 angle, as you can see. And you know, just imagine a whole bunch of these all the way around the tree. So I think it could really work if that's what we go ahead and do. Now I didn't want to continue this whole pathway all around the tree without you guys saying yes to it. Pretty sure you're all going to say yes to it, but I wanted to get the confirmation. So I really like the idea and design of doing that, and I think it would look really, really, really cool. It really gives that Kashyyyk tree look. You know, if you get far away, you can kind of just imagine what that would look like all around the tree. I think it'd look really great. Now, something kind of cool that I didn't really actually notice in last week's episode is if you just kind of look under here, you can just see the amount of slopes that is being used on this Kashyyyk tree. Kind of crazy. But you know, that just shows how much work is really going into this tree, and I think this part right here would be a great finish to the tree. And so that should also give you an idea of how big this tree is going to be. You know, this, you know, we probably continued the limbs that go up about to here, so it'd be as tall as right there. So, you know, it'd be a very tall tree. It's already taller than our crane in the very back over there at this point. So very cool. So if you guys say yes to it, then I'll go ahead and get going all the way around here and get this platform going, because I think it'll look really, really cool. So yeah, the Kashyyyk tree's looking pretty sweet. Pretty good progress. I built up the over here was kind of, whoops, still a work in progress over here, but I built up this area right here, kind of circled around here and here, so it's kind of built up a bit more. Now this right here, I wanted to explain to you guys how I do these whole things, and that's just kind of a skeleton look of what it actually looks like right here. So that's pretty cool. Just seeing this tree get even bigger really, really looks cool. But yeah, really, really awesome looking already, and just so much more to go on it, but it's looking really cool. I threw some figures up here. Wanted to show you guys what it would look like and all that stuff. But yeah, looking really cool. Let me know if you guys are liking this idea. I'm liking it quite a bit, so let me just see if you guys agree to that. And by week 19, we should have even more progress on the Kashyyyk tree going on. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and move on to some other things. Alright guys, so here is the idea of doing another tree. Not as big as that one, but doing another one. I was thinking right here, or either on the edge right here. I think right here would look better though, so we could have the Kashyyyk wall kind of coming in and out. But the Kashyyyk wall is gonna, if we go with the blending of doing another big tree just as tall and big as that one, but not as wide and tall, probably a little less tall. But if we go ahead and do that, this is the kind of ovalish idea I have for the tree. If we do that, then the Kashyyyk wall right here and here, that would come out to probably about here, kind of go along to here. It would need to be redesigned. It would actually need to be stuck to the actual Lego bricks, because it would have to blend into the tree, which is obviously being brick built. So this whole angled thing that we kind of had planned out in the beginning just really wouldn't work. So this entire wall that would come in like here and come out this way right here just wouldn't work that way. So that is something that we have to kind of do if we want to build you know, an entire big tree like over here, but an entire big tree up. I think a lot of you will be okay with that idea, but I just wanted to make sure before I started doing anything. But yeah, so this is the idea of doing another big, not as big tree, but another tree up right here, kind of slanting over as well. I think instead of the, you know, what we did with this one is we had it come up and then come towards this way. This one I think would just come up and then kind of just go straight outwards like that. And I think it would work. I think another tree, you know, we have this giant, awesome, I think by the end of this, once we finish building the Kashyyyk tree over here, you know, another tree right here would really kind of balance out our big, you know, map and thing that we have going on here. But yeah, so that's all I got to show on this. So let's go ahead and move on. So the other week, guys, I kind of mentioned about like kind of how we want to blend the sand to this dark green color over here. And this is what we came up with, and I was pretty happy with kind of how it looks. It might not be accurate, but it looks cool at least. So this is what I came up with. So I already started putting some of the dark tan down all the way through here, as well as some of this olive green. And we kind of just started kind of doing that all the way down here. And if we come on over here, should probably clean this place up, but come on over here, you can see it comes over here as well. So that has been done all the way through here. It kind of ends right here. But yeah, so just thought I'd show that. And then the other thing, yes, this is the last thing I have to show, guys, is the mountains that we have going on right here. So some more progress has been made right here. This is about as far as I'm going to come out. They're going to, as you can see, they're kind of sloping up this way. But then what's going to happen is they're going to slope back out. So it's got, excuse me, it's going to be kind of a balanced sloping system where they go up at an angle and then they come back at an angle. So that way it's not constantly going that way. It's actually going up way and then kind of doing a V shape, a very wide V shape kind of mountainous wall is what I have in mind. So just going to show you that. That's what we have going on here. A lot of bricks right here, but I guarantee you we're going to run out pretty fast once we really get into detail as we go down this way. Plus there's the other side over there we have to do as well. Oh, also you can kind of see back version of the Kashyyyk wall. So pretty cool looking. But yeah, so here's that, and again, here's the kind of blend I have in mind for this right here. So very cool. And guys, that's actually going to do it for this week's segment. So without ado, let's go ahead and end off the video. Alright guys, so covered some pretty cool stuff actually. So you know, we checked out the tree, you know, the fact that we started kind of building like kind of like a walkway, you know, the thought of doing a walkway all around the tree at different slopes is kind of cool to me. So I like the idea of doing that. Now, I kind of wish I did a little more further in building, like with the mountains, or with the giant mountain that's going to be in the background of the mock. I wanted to get a little further than that, but I actually, when I got back from Philly Brickfest, I was actually a bit sick, and I still am a bit, if you can't tell. I was a bit sick this last couple days, so it wasn't until yesterday and today where I actually got to start building again on the mock. So it actually been a week and a half since I started, since where I last left off on the last video. So in a matter of 2 days, I was able to do a pretty good amount of building. Hopefully by next week, a little bit more will be done. So yeah. Anyhow, we definitely touched on that idea of the tree. I might move the tree to the very edge of the mock, but we'll see where that goes. But I like the idea of building, of taking the Kashyyyk wall and merging it with the tree. Now, for that to work, we're not going to be able to go with the original Kashyyyk design. I think we're going to have to go back, do another prototype, and probably actually brick build it, which means connect the studs to the actual base plates. So more or less we're going to have to go with that, and that's just going to be more building, which I'll be pretty excited about. The best example of what I kind of want to do with the Kashyyyk wall, if we're going to connect it with the tree, is if anybody's a Halo fan, and if you've gone on YouTube and you've seen the Halo Battle of the Brick film. It's a 30-minute Halo Lego stop motion, and the background or the set for the stop motion film, the 30-minute stop motion film, is called Lego Zanzibar. You can actually check out the video as well. It's by a guy named Kubert Studios, really cool guy. But in the Halo map called Zanzibar, there's this giant wall, this brown wall he actually built based off the video game, and he slanted it that it was still using the brick, build bricks up, but he also slanted it in a way so it wasn't actually connected to the original bricks. That's kind of what I'll actually want to do with this. Obviously not as large, because it would only go from here to here. But that is kind of where I want to go. So a bit more prototyping will be coming soon, obviously, since that's kind of where I want to go. But let me know if you like that idea and you like the tree idea. You like what I'm doing with the tree, you think I should continue it. Just let me know down in the comments. That is the biggest thing, is I get feedback from you guys. And the last thing I kind of want to touch on with you guys is, when I was at Philly Brick Fest in Pennsylvania, in Oaks, Pennsylvania, outside of Philadelphia, I met a lot of you guys. So it was really cool. I must have taken 100 pictures that weekend and signed quite a few things. But it was great meeting a lot of you, and I actually got a chance to talk to a couple of you about Kashyyyk itself and what you thought of the series and what was grabbing your interest to come back each week. I talked to a few of you about it, and it was pretty interesting feedback that I got back from you guys. So that was really cool. And that just, kind of, a lot of you just said, this inspires you and all that stuff, and I was like, wow, didn't really think that was possible. But that really just shows that my achievement and goal from the beginning of this series is definitely being pursued throughout each week. So that's pretty important. Lastly, I just want to give a shout out to my buddy Evan. He's down in North Carolina. Evan, he's a really cool guy. I think he has a YouTube. I'll have to link down his YouTube, but I spent the entire weekend at Philly Breakfast with Evan. Really great guy. I wanted to give you a shout out to you, buddy, if you're watching the video right now. Evan has his entire family came down, and it was really great seeing you, buddy. So, I want to dedicate this entire week 18 is dedicated to you, Evan, because you're just a really great guy. Now, guys, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll actually link down to a news article about Evan with me in it as well. It's on thebrickfan.com, and I'll link down to the article if you're wondering who Evan is and why I'm making a big deal out of him. But he's a really sweet guy, and if I can get his YouTube, if he has a YouTube, I'll link it down below as well. So Evan, this entire weekly segment is dedicated to you. Thank you very much. And guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to stay subscribed to this channel. We have so much more to do with Kashyyyk. Hopefully in the next couple weeks I'll start progressing a little bit more so you can see really big changes behind me. So we have a lot more to go to, and that's going to do it for this week, guys. So thank you very much for watching. If you didn't know, May 2nd, 2014, the day this video came out, is also the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie launch. So I'm going to be seeing that tonight, and that's going to be really cool. So if you haven't already seen the movie, or you haven't, definitely check it out, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty awesome. Alright guys, stay subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, definitely subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up for Evan. Can you give a big thumbs up for my buddy Evan? He was a really great guy. I think we'll try to get a picture on the screen right now. I don't know. We'll see. But big thumbs up for Evan and for the continuation of the series, because I couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you guys for continuing to come back each week and watching these segments. Yeah, let's get these segments up to 50,000 views a week. That'd be a really great goal. So share it with your friends, and that's all I gotta say, guys. So thank you very much for watching. We'll see you guys next week in another Building Kashyyyk weekly segment. You guys have a great and wonderful day. Bye bye.